Hello everyone, Nigel here with you, Nigel's Modelling Bench, and today we have another product review for you, and this is another beauty from the beautiful company Airscale. So I was looking around on the website. If you're following my Stuka Sunday build, you'll know I'm using the Airscale Cockpit set in that one, which is basically all 3D printed resin, and then you can also get an additional PE instrument panel and bits and pieces. And then Peter's latest production is this one here. This is the in 1/24 scale. This is the cockpit set. As you can see, I'm opening this box from fresh. I think in here we'll have the cockpit set in 3D printed resin and PE, and then we'll also have some wheels and some other bits and pieces. Now the difference is with this and the Stuka set. The Stuka set is done as like a bundle, so you buy the whole lot. There are no instructions. You have to work it out yourself, or you can follow my videos and watch me struggle. Part 3, I just struggle and struggle and struggle, and then we get there in the end. But this, I think, will be more comprehensive with instructions and stuff like that. So let's see. So we have our invoice in there. Okay, so we're going through the pack. So we've got Spitfire Mk.VIII 1/24 scale cockpit set 3D 24 SPCS. So we've got 3D printed parts in their lovely little captured areas. And then here we've got the wheel sets. So we've got treaded tyres, block tread on them, and then we've got lovely wheels. We've got tread and we've got flat spotted tyres as well, which are really nice. And then this here, this is the cockpit upgrade. Now, if you have the Mk.IX set, best keep the Mk.IX set for your Mk.IX, because this one has differences. What's very interesting, if you look at the Airfix kit and then compare, because obviously the other big Mk.VIII, Mk.IX is the Tamiya 1/32 scale. Now, if you look at the Airfix kit, what's very strange is all the detail on the cockpit sidewalls and everything is identical. You can see by the part numbers, it's all identical to the actual Mk.IX kit when compared to the Mk.VIII. However, they have a different instrument panel. They have a different switch there, and here you can see where there's parts labelled P. That's where they're different. Okay, so that's very interesting. Now, I'm just looking here. We have a clear sprue, and that's X. Now that has got 2 different instrument panels on it, and that one's got 2 different instrument panels. I'm just going to grab the sprue and see what the difference is. Hang on a second. Okay, so this is the P sprue, obviously, and it's very difficult because we only have a clear panel for the Mk.IX, and I don't know if you can make it out, but there are differences in the gauging. You can see down the left hand side there's 2 gauges on the bottom of the Mk.VIII, and there's only one on the Mk.IX. And then we've got this square panel here. There are differences. They're very subtle, but there are differences there. So there we go. So the instrument panel in the Airfix kit is actually different. I'm going to put this sprue away so it doesn't get scratched. These clear parts in these Airfix Spitfires are beautiful. In fact, all the parts in these Airfix Spitfires are beautiful. They are lovely, lovely kits. And I very much look forward to doing this one. So basically we do have a different instrument panel, and that is it. Now, as I said, if you look at the Tamiya kit, very strangely they use the same instrument panel between the Mk.VIII and the Mk.IX, but they make changes around the cockpit. So I spoke to Peter about this via email, and he's had a look into it and done all his research and everything, and come up with these lovely sets. So basically, if we look at this one first, this is and bear in mind, guys, these are 3 separate sets. It's not a bundle like the Stuka, and I've asked Peter if he's going to do a bundle, and he says no. So you have the choice of buying just that, or just the wheels and tyres. So basically, in here, this is kind of a normal P cockpit set that you would expect from Peter over at Airscale. However, you don't normally get these 3D printed parts. So basically what you normally get is a nickel silver PE sheet there, which is always beautifully etched, very nicely done. And you get a backing plate, and then you get the front plate. And here you can see with the little panel there, you've got the square and the circle. So that's going to flip over and glue into there. and then you've got that going on the back, and then you've got that going in front. So basically you'll flip that over, stick that on there, you'll stick that on top of that one, and then you'll put a decal, a sheet of acetate, stick that on the front, and it brings it forward. It looks like a real thing. And then here in this one, rather than just an instrument panel, he's also added some other bits and pieces. So you've got the throttle, I think it's throttle or undercarriage control, lever control or something, some other bits and pieces. There's some bracketry here for going around the inside of the tub. There's another one there that goes around the outside of something, I can't remember what now, or around the inside of something. Here's some brackets for the seat mounts. We've got that main bulkhead. We've got the armour plate there, which is done in photo etch, which is obviously so much nicer than the plastic. And then we've got some little bezels and stuff on there. So all in all, it's very, very nice indeed. And then you've got these beautiful decals, which are always very nice. Be very careful with your setting solutions because they do tend to grab. But I would recommend etch primer, paint it gloss black, and then put this down, which is what he says in the instructions. You've got all these decals and placards and everything in there. So all very beautifully presented and of the highest quality. So I always enjoy using these sets. And then here we have the clear acetate, which for me is the way to go. I can show you here, for example, if we put our clear acetate over our instrument panel like so, and then we put our decal behind our photo etch nickel silver, we get it positioned roughly correctly like that. Okay, so you can see that there you have your gauges in behind, but if I tip it sideways, get the light to reflect, you can see we have glazing on our dials. So it's just the ultimate, as far as I'm concerned. It is the ultimate. And then you're getting in here, sorry, I haven't done the 3D printed parts. Here we have a small protected little fret of 3D printed parts. And this is something Peter's very good at, is these protective rings so nothing gets damaged. And you can see there's some tiny little bits and pieces that are going to go to dress up the cockpit and just take it that one step further. So they're very, very nice indeed. Absolutely beautiful. So that set there is available, I think is available from Hannon's. What did I do with my invoice? Here it is. That set there is $27.95, which I think is good value for what you're getting. It's not just an instrument panel. You know, you've got everything in there. There's lots and lots, and if you have a look on the website, you'll see there's lots of stuff in the cockpit, not just an instrument panel. And you're also getting, you know, you're getting 3D printed parts, you're getting photo etch, you're getting decals, and you're getting that. So here you can see we've got full instructions, and you can see there we've got that panel going on behind the pilot's seat. We've got the armour plate there. We've got these panels here. And then you've got various little bits and bobs going in to dress up the cockpit. And there's your instrument panel there. So, yeah, very nice indeed. And, you know, you've got all your instructions here. Sliding hood. So you've got canopy latch brackets as well. So very nice indeed. So thank you for that, Peter. And then second of all, we've got this update set for the cockpit. And this is... what's this one? 3D24 SPCS. This one is £13.50. So, you know, for 3D printed resin, that's a very reasonable price when you look at the price of some stuff these days. So here we have a panel that's going to go in the side. This will all become clear when you look at the instructions. Now I know that I kind of assisted Peter with sizing some of this up because he didn't have a kit to try it on at the time, because he had his Mark 9 there, but it was all already all done up with other parts, you know, with his parts for the Mark 9. So yeah, there we have that panel there. That's a straight direct replacement for the plastic kit part, which is much better in detail. We have our throttle quadrants here. In fact, we'll get these out just to show you how beautiful they are. And we can see there how gorgeous they are and how much better they are than the plastic kit parts. They are stunning. If you're worried about getting these parts off, Peter's got a video on his website about removing parts. You'll also see me do it in the Stuka videos. I just use a pair of cutters, but it's not too difficult. And then here we have a little box of some sort, again direct replacement for a kit part. So you can see that there, very nice indeed. And then in here we have, this is the, I think it's called a ballast resistor, is it? This is what goes in behind the pilot's head. And as you can see, that's a vast improvement over the plastic parts, and it's very visible on the finished model as well. It's right there in the canopy. So that's gorgeous. And then here, I believe this is the piece. Is this the piece that goes in the... What you need to do is go and look on the website, and I think on there it'll show you where they go. I'll just go and check in a minute. Or is that the gun sight? I'm just going to go and check, and then I'll come back and we'll decide where that goes. But that is, as you can see, it's very, very nice. I think that's actually going to go inside the canopy, perhaps. Let me go and have a quick look a second. Hang on. Yeah, so this is the base for the gun sight. So basically, if I just use a knife, you can see here these little vertical members that are raised. Well, they're not vertical, they're at a 45-degree angle. That's where your clear is going to go in there. And then this is the base, and that's going to go into the bottom of the canopy. As I said, the canopy framing. So basically, as that goes in like that, you will be the pilot looking straight at it. So that's where that's going to go. So that's a vast improvement over what's in the kit. And as I say, we've got the other little bits and pieces as well. So that can go back in its bag. Only downside with the 3D printed resin, it can be quite brittle and easy to break. So it needs to be treated with care. It's not that fragile. It's not ridiculously brittle, but it doesn't have much flexibility. So be a little bit careful with it. So there we go. So that's the cockpit set, and as I say, that one is $13.50, which for all that I think is great. When you look at the price of some 3D printed sets, they're quite ridiculous. And then finally we have the Spitfire Mk.VIII wheel set, which is an absolute bargain. This is £9.75 for all of this, and to replace the kit wheels and tyres, I think it's worth it. So here we have our tyres with the beautiful block tread on them, which must be appropriate for the period. We've got the tyre lettering on them there. So they're Dunlop tyres. Got the sizes as well. There's weight on them. We've got the tail wheel there with weight on it. So very, very nice indeed. Gonna get that in the sunlight just to finish off the curing. And then here we have, there's the back of a wheel. Okay, so there's the rear wheel face. And then here we have a front wheel face. So we've got the 4 spokes. Like so. Very nicely done. There's another back, there's another front. And then in here we've got our centres. Come out. We have our centres for our tail wheel there. So you can see on there there's some beautiful detail. So yeah, vast improvement over the kit parts. And highly recommended. You can just imagine get some mud and grog and stuff into those block treads and set your model apart from the others. So there we are. So all in all, with delivery, that little lot was $56.70. So yeah, I can hear you going, oh my god, but when you think what you pay for a big headset or something, it's not that bad. When you think there's a lot of photo etch is lovely for its job, but sometimes photo etch is 3D resin is much better. As I've said so many times of late, it's beginning to annoy me how all these manufacturers are going for 3D printed barrels on guns and everything, and I just don't. I mean, not so much with these bigger aircraft, but if you look at the new border model Yamato, other than the main guns, all the other barrels are 3D printed, and we all know they bow, they bend, they brittle, they snap. So years ago, aftermarket sets would have would have brass in them, but these days it seems that 3D printing is taking over the world. And I think when you've got situations where you've got people who aren't necessarily modelers but can work a computer, they're designing 3D printed parts that maybe, you know, aren't that practical. Anyway, so there we go. So that's PE24-8 V111, and then we've got 3D24 SPCS, and then we've got 3D24 SPWL. So get on over to the Airscale website. I'll put a link in the description below the video, and tell him Nigel sent you and get your order in. And you'll see me building this. I intend to do this after the Stuka, and the way things are going, that'll be about 2038, I think. But yeah, so there we go. I'll see you all soon. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.